Alright, hello everyone. Today we will be talking about the Hishi Amazon banner. I'll be talking about the Bamboo Memory and Shinko Windy cards as well, so you can understand why you want to go and get these cards, why you should be happy to get them, what are these cards good for. And I also talk about Hishi because I know some of you love Hishi, so you will want to go and force her no matter what, and then I'll explain how to make your Hishi really good. Right, so let us move on to the lore about Hishi Amazon. Hishi Amazon comes from the prestigious Northern Dancer bloodline, just like all of these other buggers over here. The Northern Dancer bloodline is basically everywhere here for this period of time. She's born in the 1900s-ish, 1994, 95, around there, right? So that was the period of time where Narita Bryan was also racing, the period of time where I believe Bakushino and Nishino Flower were also in active period, right? So very long time ago technically. Haha, oh, I'm so old, whatever. Hishi Amazon is a very successful horse because of the earnings over here. 20 out of 20 races, 10 wins, 5 second places and 5 other places, with about 700 million Japanese yen, which is about 4 million USD, and she's a mare also in real life. So very good record for a mare for her time, right? So what races did she win over here? We have the Queen Elizabeth Community Cup, that's a G1 that she won. Hanshin Himba Stakes also, she won that one. And then she also won several G2s, including the New Zealand Trophy Yonsai Stakes over here, right? But her losses are also going to be against very strong notable horses for the time also. Narita Bryan, Biko Pegasus, Sakura Laurel, and Mayana Top Gun. Laurel will be coming out in JP in global much later. Mayana Top Gun already here. Narita Bryan already here. Very powerful horses for their time. They made Bryan actually too weak because Bryan is a very famous powerful horse. Like very high on the JRA rankings, right? Very significant for a time, and the fact that Hishi was considered a rival of Bryan is already telling of how strong Hishi Amazon is, right? And how powerful Bryan is for her time. Bryan is a very strong horse during this period of time. It's only due to her injuries, unfortunately, that she was not able to push herself to the limit, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it for the Hishi Amazon racing lore over here. Now we go on to a little bit more about her, a bit more in depth, right? Originally, her name was supposed to be Amazonas, not Amazon, but apparently the GRA didn't stick with it, so it became Amazon. She's from the Hishi clan also, so it's Hishi Amazon, right? Later on, her bloodline will also be called Hishi something, right? Her bloodline comes from a very powerful horse called Theatrical, who is a G1 horse from the Northern Dancer lineage. Katie's is also a very powerful horse, a mare as well, right? And she has her own lineage of mare, similar to how McQueen has a lineage of daughters, right? And the daughters breed to get the bloodline for the McQueen, right? Katie's also carries the blood of Niartic, who's also from the Northern Dancer bloodline. And Katie's bloodline includes Maya Moon and Euphoria from JP side, right? These are her grandsons, if I remember correctly, right? She's a very beautiful dark horse in real life, and she's apparently quite bad at exiting the gate. So the intended strategy is usually going to be pace, but sometimes if she comes out of the gate really late, right, they will have to change it to end closer. So it's very similar to Ghost Ship in a way, where you, okay, forget it, we're just going to go end closer for Ghost Ship, right? Hokuto Vega is her friend, and her personality actually takes after her friend, because people thought that she was a very noble horse, comes from a very strong bloodline, very similar to McQueen, right? And then she very peaceful horse, very noble-ish looking horse, right? The attitude very noble, like not like Stay Gold, not like Orphe, you know, like rah. This is like more like peaceful, just noble kind of attitude. So people thought she was a Josama, right? Or Josama kind of like Majiru McQueen. However, her attitude in the game was taken after Hokuto Vega, who unfortunately would pass away in Dubai and never really returned to Japan, right? That's why, yeah, this is a very important thing to note here for Hokuto Vega. It's also one of her good friends where they always go grazing together. Yep. Amazon's son, notably Hishi and this, actually lived on the same farm as Urara, and this horse also for some reason does not like goats. Opposite of Doto. Opposite of Doto. That's why I like to compare this horse with Doto, because it's like, oh, I hate goats and oh, I like goats. Right. Amazon and Bryan constantly race against each other. Some people thinking that Amazon is the true rival. For this one, right, apparently Amazon and Bryan actually liked each other, right? They will notice each other every time they go and race together. So even though the horses like each other, people would look at them and be like, oh, they're harsh rivals. A bit like Opera O and Doto, because they apparently like each other also. They didn't mind hanging out with each other, right? So that's the funny thing about horses, right? Horses, they just make friends with the horses on the racetrack. For other people, they're like, oh, rival. Nah, not really, right? The in real life Amazon couldn't attempt to be a triple tiara, as she was a foreign horse in a time where foreign horses couldn't enter the classics. Something nothing like Maruzensky. If you know Maruzensky's lore, she was not able to enter Tokyo Derby at all due to being a foreign horse, and they were not ready to change at that time. The only time that the Tokyo Derby would open up is when the JRA would join the International Racing Association. I don't remember the name of that one, but basically they joined a very big international association, and so they opened up all of their racetracks to the foreign horses. Right, that was the big change that happened there. Right, so Hishi, Amazon, and Maruzensky, they were not able to ever attempt to become triple tiaras or triple crown horses. Right, so that is the Hishi Amazon lore for you. We will now move on to the actual review of the horse and the cards. Alright, so now we go on to the character and banner review. Over here we have Hishi Amazon. Hishi Amazon is a 20% power and 10% guts bonus over here, and she has no innate recovery. Why is that important? Because she has proficiencies in medium and longs, and no innate recovery means that it's very hard to get the stamina on her. So what's the conclusion of Hishi Amazon just off of that? Is that she is actually a very weird horse where she is basically below many horses. So if you like her, I'm sorry to say that she's not really going to be as strong as a lot of the other horses that are available to you. Right? Hishi Amazon has a problem where she doesn't have an innate recovery for mediums and longs, which are very important for stamina. Medium is basically long if you think about it, because of all the goddamn debuffers that come out in mediums, right? After that, we also have longs, which is just, you know, the biggest stamina check in the entire game, and then we have Miles, which is technically the one that she can go into due to having a very good power bonus, and Miles is usually going to be a power focused CM, right? Mile A, unfortunately, is going to be sometimes dominated by other positions. So front runners, if there's a straight line, then it's going to be enclosers. But enclosers, there's encroaching shadow for Taishin. That's the one that has the highest chance to win because it's 0.4 XL, right? Straightaway split is only 0.2. It's not strong enough. You would have to outstat them really hard or get more gambling skills, right? So that's pretty much it going for the mile and for the mediums and longs. Because this horse does not have any innate recoveries, she cannot really fit herself here. Her stamina growth is not that strong like Ghost Ships. She has 10% gut bonus like Taishin, but Taishin has encroaching shadow, which always makes her a very strong horse if you can meet the stat lines, right? So this horse doesn't have anything really going for her. Her skills that she has are mainly speed skills for positioning, but they don't help you to win. You need straightaway spurt or encroaching shadow in order to try and win, right? So, but I mean, you can get straightaway spurt onto like Ghost Ship, for example, but Ghost Ship is more suited for mediums and longs. Why? Mediums and longs, she has innate recovery, and that is very significant for her. It helps her to get one extra recovery, and then she gets the recovery from another card like Swinging Maestro, right? So that's pretty much it for the understanding between Ghost Ship and Taishin. This horse, unfortunately, Aishin, is not going to be very good. Her unique is also not very good either because it requires an overtake as well. While for Nemesis, it does require an overtake. It is attached to one of the strongest horses with encroaching shadow. So Nemesis not triggering properly also doesn't really matter. Sometimes Nemesis will trigger at a good timing, sometimes it won't, doesn't really matter. Encroaching shadow is still on that horse, right? For Ghost Ship, however, Ghost Ship has a 6-second unique that has no condition for overtaking. So it's more generic than this horse. And more generic and more duration is more important, because more duration means that there's a possibility that you can carry over the speed into the acceleration phase, and that will make Ghost Ship much stronger, because she will have the good XL increase because her speed carried over into the last part. So that is why Ghost Ship is very strong every time. But Hishi, unfortunately, is an overtake plus lower duration, and also requires very specific conditions over here. 5 lines compared to some of these other horses, right? So Hishi will never really see any play ever. So I think if you really like her, you can force her, but you will realize that for Miles, she can't win, because there are Seiyun Skies, there are Taishins that will just beat the shit out of you. There's a Late Surger, Grass Wonders, and so on, who will also beat the shit out of you. You can't win in those scenarios because you only have speed skills, no XLs, right? Then we go on to the long positions. Not enough stamina. You have to really raw dog that stamina with multiple stamina cards and buy all of your recoveries from the cards itself. So very painful experience also. I would not want to put you guys through that experience, but if you really want to do it because Oshi, then you can go and try it, right? I can tell you that she can still win if you hit the stat lines. It's just going to be a tremendous amount of effort, and that might burn you out more, right? So up to you. If you have the power of the Oshi, then you can go ahead and do it. But if you don't have the power of the Oshi, I recommend not doing this. It is very painful. All right. Next, we move on to Shinko Windy. Very good speed card. Very good speed card, right? This is an extremely powerful speed card. Let's go to the comparison here, right? Windy, We don't even need to look at the skills, by the way. Don't even need to look at her skills. Windy is just an insane speed card. Let's look at some of the other speed options we have. Right, we compare mostly with the SRs because she is an SR, but I can compare her with some SSR speed cards as well. That's because this card is very, very strong. 37.5 friendship bonus at max limit break, right? Beating even special week here, higher specialty priority than special week over here. Special week is really a nothing burger compared to this card here, because in every single way, Special Week has been beaten every single way except the recovery that you can get from Special Week. That's the only thing that is getting beaten by this, right? Using any of these other cards over here, you can see like Gold City, oh my god, no specialty priority, no, this one is bad. Okay, but Kita Sun Black, yeah, I mean, hard to compare, right? 100 specialty priority, but look at that, friendship bonus is still humongo, right? Humongo friendship bonus. That's the special thing about this card. It's just that her friendship bonus is huge. It is on the level of a Mayano Top Gun, a very, very insane card, right? 37.5, 37.5. It's just that Mayano is more high rolly due to skill point bonus and higher training effectiveness, so she can even bounce around. So this is a very, very good card for speed, because in the speed department, there are very few cards that can get this kind of friendship bonus. You basically stack this with Sip Tosho, with Kita Sun Black, and look at that, guys. You have a monstrous combo of very consistent rainbow, big rainbow, and skill point bonuses, and charming, and this one is 37.5. Humongous stat bonuses here. Very, very good stat stick, just unlikely due to 35 priority. But it also has 15 friendship gauge, so it's easier to max than Mayano Top Gun. So that's one advantage that it does have. So Shinko Windy is a very, very strong stat stick. What about Bamboo Memory? Bamboo Memory, unfortunately, is a very, very mediocre card. Let's pull out some of the other cards, since this one is an SSR, right? So we also put in Daitaku, we also put in a Hishi Amazon as an example, but there's also Bourbon that I can't fit here, right? Bamboo Memory, first off, one of the worst friendship bonuses, lower than, the only one it beats is Daitaku, right? But specialty priority is also 0. Why? Because this card is a bouncing card. Effectiveness of 15, race bonus of 5. What the hell? Why is it 5? And then skill point bonus of 1 also, right? This combination of stuff here makes it very mediocre for clicking the power button and giving you a lot of power stats. So it's not a good stat stick. So is it a good skill stick? No. The skill is also not that important. It is Rising Dragon. Rising Dragon is not that important. You might as well get the white skill. Why? Because for this horse in particular, right, for late surges, right, they want more accelerations as much as possible. So their skill points cannot be anyhow wasted on a speed skill. Speed skills help them to get to number 6 position, so it's still good. But you don't need to invest to a gold level for a speed skill. Getting the white skill, getting more white skills is still going to be a lot more better for you, right? Just getting a bunch of other white skills increases the amount of skills you have, then you proc a lot of these, you can get additional speed, and that will help you to get to 6th position. You activate Majio Ryan, activate your Furious Feet, activate your On Your Left, activate your Marozensky, and then boom. From then on, that's basically how you win the game. You don't need a 0.35 speed skill to help you to win the game. Just get a bunch of other stuff like late surge straights, late surge corners, mild straights, mild corners. All of this are much more important than getting in the gold skill over here. So it's not that important. If you still don't believe me after that, just go and look at the ref doc. The ref doc has all the information that you need here. Bamboo and Windy is going to be a skip, even though Windy is a very good SR, because it's harder to get SRs. It's harder to go and snipe the SR because you cannot pity them. It's actually worse to get it than a speed SSR, for example, right? SSRs are easier to get because you pull 200, you can pity it out. But for SRs, you still need to max it, otherwise it's very bad, and you need to get 5 copies of it, and the rate is only 2.25. It's still very, very hard. It's actually harder than getting the SSR according to the math, right? That's why in the Narita Top Road banner, even though I recommend people to get Ayabe, I recommend you to keep all of your golden gems, otherwise you cannot max the Ayabe on average, right? So that's something that's very, very important to understand for the SRs and SSRs. It's actually harder to get SRs than SSRs. If you play any MiHoYo game, you also will experience that, where you're trying to get Xiangling constellations and you just never hit it, right? That's basically how it goes sometimes, right? So that is pretty much it for the review for all of these banners over here. Ultimately, if you really, really like any of these horses, like Hishi Amazon, then feel free to go and pursue her. I will not stop you, but understand that she is a very, very hard horse to build. Shinko Windy is a very good card. If you accidentally get her in future banners, you're going to be so happy if you do not have another stronger speed card for you. And then yeah, that's pretty much it here for the final review here. And if you have any other questions, please comment down below. If you want, you can go to my Ko-fi and ask me for direct questions, or you can join me on my streams to ask me questions. I usually spend many hours trying to answer as many questions as possible. Over here in this canvas sheet are going to be the links links, which you can see in the description below. All right, that's pretty much it. And I thank you guys for watching this video. All right, good luck with your pulls if you are going to be pulling. Otherwise, good luck on your savings. I hope you have enough savings by the time Swimsuit Maru comes out, your Nice Nature comes out, or your Rico banner comes out. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.